Welcome, friends. Welcome to another very fine Reconsider It live stream. Here on this very nice Reconsider It live stream. Friends, we are having a tinkering with the knobs stream. If you are new to the Reconsider It live streams, welcome. You made a really good decision joining. To my regulars already in the place. I see Viral Beats is in a house. Trusto and Moser in the place. Welcome, friends. We're going to be hanging out over the next hour, question mark. Playing around with my palettes, evolving the way they sound. Picking up with a E flat, which is what we're listening to right now. I slapped this beat together before we went live. And here in this chilling out warm up phase. Right now we are getting ready for the stream. And then for you to be most prepared for the stream to the maximum maxability, there is one thing you need to do. One thing. And that is, at this time, to grab yourself a drink. I got my water. Friends, during the stream today, we're going to have a variety of community affirming cheers moments. And you're going to be part of those. So in order for you to be part of these community building moments to the max, you need your drink, my friends. Grab your drink. We are doing a warm-up cheers at this time. Just practice, that's all it is. I'm going to clink the screen on 3. You get to join in with the rest of us who are also practicing on 3. Here it comes, friends. 1. Counting up. 2. Cheers, my friends, on 3. Clink. Cheers. Whew. That is really good. That worked out really well. Even for just a practice cheers, that was impressive. That gives me a lot of confidence. That gives me a lot of confidence in knowing that this stream is going to go very, very well. And you know, as I said, that we're doing these tinkering with the knobs kind of stream right now. And we're starting with this beat right here that I made before the stream, this E flat. I do have a couple of things I'd like to do to it already. Bass I think is okay. I might remake another one just to confirm I still like it. Or maybe not. I think the bass is sounding pretty good. If we pull up the next sounds. I think these are okay, question mark. Maybe I'll visit them a little bit. Then we got the other ones. This one needs a little bit of work. Before I went live, I had to do like a last minute tweak. I was like, oh, I gotta do a little bit on this one. But this one definitely needs some work, I think. It's got too much unintended noise in it. Then there's this one. I think this sounds okay. I might be able to soften it a little. So yeah, there's some things I want to do in this one. This one I won't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all, in fact. If this one takes a full hour to work with. So this one, or these right here rather, these sounds. These I thought were like, okay. But maybe I could tweak them a little bit. So let's see. Which ones are these? Okay, I found it. So what can I do with these? Let's see, they sound like this currently. Like the other layer, I think maybe there's some kind of softening I can do. Trusto says they sound synthy. Yeah. I do like an organic feel. Often I have a gravitation toward that. Sometimes a synthy feel can be good. Let me see, again, comparing to the rest. Yeah, this one over here already is all very synth heavy sounding. This one is totally different, and I'm going to completely re-engineer this one. Yeah, maybe I'll soften them in that way. Can I make them a little... Maybe some reverb. Is there reverb on them? No, there's not really any reverb. Alright, let's see. So I'm going to play around with this sound. Let's do it. So I've done a fair amount already. I turned down what I think is contributing a lot to that synthy sound. Sounds a little more organic. Let's listen to the difference. Here's the previous version. So even that, I think there's still room for more evolution on that. But I think that's moving in a good direction. It's moving. Trusto says it still sounds organic. Sounded like a monster. You're talking about the bass? I've been thinking more about approaching bass as more like a growling kind of way. This one I feel is a little repetitive. Let me redo the bass here. I was thinking earlier about redoing the bass, possibly, just to confirm I'm still good with it. So I'm gonna do that. Let's redo the bass. So I think the answer is yes. I'm pretty happy with the bass and this other layer. I really gotta come up with some names for these things. So I keep moving on. How about this other layer? Oh yeah, this one. I know this one's gonna need some work. So this one's it's got a low pass filter in it, but there's too much reverb in it. I gotta, because the low pass filter is applied early in the stack. Usually I like to put the filter near the end of the stack or at the end of the stack of effects. So it's a little tricky when it's in the middle, but you know, that's the challenge. So yeah, let's take a look at this one. How am I gonna mess with this one? Assuming I have a song that sounds kind of like this, or whatever. Let's pull out this low pass filter one and mess around with it. So I'm changing quite a bit in this track with the low pass filter. So what's happening in the stack is I'm using a distortion, which is one of my primary, you know, instruments, quote unquote, that I use when I'm making a palette. And that just throws on what it sounds like, a heavy distortion. These drums actually are made with distortion, these kicks. So anyway, in this low pass filter layer, I'm taking a distortion. I think it was set to metal, which is just really loud and grindy. And I turned up the tone a bit, because that was one of the things I felt was missing. The low pass filter itself was good, so I didn't need to mess with that. But I did adjust a delay, a reverse delay that's applied on it, and that's the one I'm still tinkering with right now. I found that the reverse delay had a lot of low end in it, which I usually like to cut out on any kind of delay. I'm also letting it have a little bit more high end, because that's the kind of space that I mean it to fill. Because I'm replacing this one here. This one has a lot of a muted feel to it, which that's not what I want this for. Although, when accompanying these do have a lot of foreground to them, prominent brilliance. Sounds like Trusto says, We are eating dinner and listening. That's cool. I have a snack I was thinking about having. Got some pomegranate arrows. Gonna have some of these. Man, they're juicy. So this one, as I said, I feel there's too much delay in it, and it's too muted sounding. So that's part of what I'm working on, and I think I've made pretty good progress so far. I'm going to try messing with it a little more and then re-record it. That's the only problem with the pomegranate arrows. That, at least for me, I usually don't eat them all. I don't eat the coarse seed part. I spit that out like a sunflower seed. Or I guess sunflower seeds is the other way around. In any case, I have to have a little thing nearby to spit out the seed itself from the arrow. It's the only downside. All right, friends, let's keep going. I'm going to go to this low-pass filter layer. Keep messing with it. I think the reverb part of it's getting pretty close. Should be able to do a re-record shortly. So now, thinking about how it sounds right now, I think there's a lot of feedback in there. I know exactly where that's coming from, that distortion layer I was talking about earlier, the bass thing that I built this layer upon. And that's easy to resolve. So I'm going to keep messing with it. Otherwise, though, I think it does sound pretty good, meshing rather, with the rest of this. Alright, I'm gonna mess with that some more. Let's do it. I think this is a yes. Yeah. I kind of want these other layers. These. Kind of want these to be a little lower. Can I turn these down directly? I don't think this one has a direct volume. That's one other thing that I would want if Boss were to make another generation like a Mark III, or better yet, they make a, you know, like an 808 looper with 8 channels instead of 5. So if they do ever do that, one of the points of feedback that I have for them that I would want in a future model is the ability for every single layer, both in the input and after it's recorded, to have just a straight up volume layer, to have a basic EQ with a low, medium, high. They can easily fit that on the screen. Some of them have it, but not all of them. It's very inconsistent. But that's a really critical feature. So that's one of my very few gripes. I have a lot of good things to say about this looper Mark II. The lack of volume levels and EQ is one of my very few gripes. So yeah, I think these are sounding pretty good. There does not seem to be a very direct way for me to change the volume on this other layer, but that's okay. That's what these things are for. I can play with that more. That's alright. So then there's just the final layer here. This one. I think this one sounds okay, but I might be able to make it softer. It sounds a little flat, but not in tone. The tone sounds fine. I don't know what to call it exactly. Not timbre. That's not the right word. I want it to have a little bit more body, a little softer, as I said earlier. So I'll mess with that one right now. But not before before I invite you to join me for the first official Cheers moment of the stream. I see we are 32 minutes in, so it is obligatory to engage in a very exciting Cheers moment. Grab your drink, my friends. We are doing it. I'm gonna grab my water. You might have something else. You might have any number of things. You might have some pomegranate juice in addition to some pomegranate arrows, as I have. On three, my friends, we're gonna do this. We're gonna celebrate our unity. And celebrate how together we are at this time. On three, my friends, it's coming like this. 1. And then after that, we got 2. Friends, cheers on 3. Clink. Cheers, my friends. I'm also going to use this opportunity to have a few more of these pomegranate arrows. You don't get opportunities like this every day. Man, those are tasty. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please share this video. To our friends listening on the stream, on replay, after the stream, on replay, please leave a comment. And yes, my people, in the year 3782, I see you. So we have this final texture here to evolve in this palette. I'm glad I took the time to work on this one. Thank you for being here with me. A lot of good improvements made here. I'll probably, wipe it and redo it in a little bit. So like I say, for this one, I want to make it, give it some kind of softness. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for, but let's take a look. So I think the answer is yes on that. That is very much moving in a better direction than the prior one here. Listen. This one's not bad. It's just, I don't know. It's not... It's different from those. I just prefer the new evolved version. So I'm going to keep evolving it a little bit, but I'm much closer, I think. Then I'm going to wipe this one and do something else. Let's see. I see Crazy Wabbit's in the place. My man made it. Symptoms of Reality also in the place. I forget if I welcomed you today on this particular stream. For all my friends who are in the place right now, largely Symptoms of Reality crew, including Crazy Wabbit. I mean the whole fam, the whole community. Pretty dope, this whole collaboration project. What I'm about to say is very esoteric. It's only for the very initiated few. The most downest of the down. And that is just... This is gonna be cool. This collaboration project that you initiated today to Symptoms of Reality. going to be interesting to see who does what, who gets paired with whom. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take this time to talk about my favorite collaboration project I've ever done. This didn't always produce the greatest music to listen to, but the process was awesome. I wish I could point you to some of the resulting product, but unfortunately, I don't think it's online anywhere. But here was the process. Just listen to this. It was awesome. I've tried to reproduce this a few times in a few other communities I was part of, but it never worked. It was just that one time in the original community where this worked. But there was like maybe 30 of us. All different, you know, experimental, whatever kind of angle to music. Mostly electronic bent in some way or form. Not exclusively, but mostly. Some people were visual artists even. In any case, listen to how we used to do these projects. Awesome. Whoever came up with this idea originally, from the original crew, I was brought on later in the crew. Here's how it works. Somebody starts, whenever it might be. Someone's like, all right, we're doing a project. And that's it. Somebody picks a day, we're gonna start it, friends. Let me know if you're in by whatever day. All right, friends, we're gonna do a project. Let me know by Wednesday. Respond in this chain by end of day Wednesday. All right, good. We got a list of, 8 people or whatever. Whoever's down, whoever has the time that week. And then as of Thursday, everybody starts writing. And we take turns with writing which layer. Everybody just adds a layer every time you pass it around. So for example, if indeed there were 8 people, as I said earlier, 8 people are down for this round, we might do something like this. We might break it up like this. We might say, all right, this group of 4 people and that group of 4 people gonna work in groups. So they're not gonna work together, those 8 people all together. Just like these 4 and these 4 are gonna work together. Cool. So now look at each group of 4. Group of 4 now, each person of the 4 starts writing a song. And they just write, let's say they all write a drum layer, just to keep it simple. And they have 3 days. I realize there's a lot of moving parts. 4 people over the course of 3 days. Each of them is responsible for laying down the first layer of a song. After those 3 days, they swap. And it just kind of rotates down the line a little bit. And now I get somebody else's drum layer, and I pass my drum layer to the next person. And now I add whatever I want. And let's say it's a bass layer, just for the sake of discussion. So everybody gets 3 days. Add another layer. So now you're 2 layers deep. And then you pass it down again. So now I get somebody else's, let's say, drum layer and bass layer made by two other people, and we haven't been talking. We're not in communication. We're just like blindly passing these tracks down. And now I add something else. And you just keep going like that. And we generally would just add as many layers as people are participating. That's why I said earlier, maybe we don't have all 8, because then you'd have like a song that's 8 stacks deep. And also, well, no, I'll take that next part back. No, and also. So anyway, that group was really cool. Some of the stuff that came out of those projects were just completely unlistenable, but awesome in that regard. And I would love to listen to. I love them. They're part of my children. But some of the tracks that came out were really good. Like, really good. I wish I could point you to some of it. I don't think it's online anywhere. So anyway, that was my favorite collaboration crew. It was often that there was just like, there was generally a project happening at any given time. Trusto says 3 days is not a lot of time. Yeah, you're right. It's not. That's why you got to plan ahead a little bit and think like, all right, there's 4 people. We're going to have 3 days, so I got to be able to dedicate myself for 12 days. Do I have the next 2 weeks to really participate in this? Because that was the only thing that sometimes was frustrating, was that if you're in a project and then like you're waiting on somebody else because they didn't get in their 3 days. It's fine if they went to 4 days. You know, it's like, okay, maybe it delays by 1 day total, but it's easy to catch up from that. But if you have like somebody takes a whole week instead of 3 days, or 2 people do that, then it really does drastically delay the project. It's still doable, it just really, it delays things a lot. So that was one of the expectations of the group. That is like, all right, listen, I know everybody wants to be part of every project. They're really fun. They're really unpredictable. We know you want to be part of them. And there's no problem with you saying yes or no. If you say no, that doesn't mean you can't in the future. You still can in the future. So please just say no if you can't do it over the next 2 weeks. Fortunately, that particular group, it was actually really good. Like, people were good about that. But the times that I've tried to reintroduce that into other communities I've been part of, I have failed at that. I don't have much of an intuitive knack for community building. Despite the fact that these Reconsider It live streams are building a community, which is great. I see Crazy Rabbit says that process sounds fun. You finish it up quick. That's what made it either unlistenable or amazing, because you get like the most beautiful inspirations in some cases, and like the genre spanning was nuts. It was ludicrous, the amount of just, what genre is this? As I said, we had a crew of like 30 people or something, and they were scattered across the United States and Canada, if I recall correctly. All sorts of different genres. All sorts of different genres. So yeah, the fast turnaround, really dope. This layer, I think, is a little too much at this point. I was surprised listening back to it. So I'm going to keep messing with this layer, if that's okay with you. It's already sounding a lot better. Part of that is that it has to do with what I engineered the song, or the sound, how I engineered the sound to be spoken into. And I still don't really have a consistent method that I can even communicate to future me. It's like, oh yeah, this one, use this kind of falsetto or this kind of just more natural voice spoken into it. But this now, altogether, I think is sounding better with that alternate, this. If you can handle it, my friends, this is going to be possibly asking a lot of you. It's going to require some self-restraint. If you can handle it, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. But I am not necessarily proposing this as a formal cheers moment. I'm just gonna have a little sip of my drink. If you'd like to grab a sip of your drink as well, that's cool. You want to just join me in spirit, or you want to just keep doing whatever you're doing and not think about it at all. All of that is appropriate at this time. That's a pretty good sip of my drink. I gotta be honest about it. I'm seeing Crazy Wabbit talking about some kind of in-person jamming and gear swapping. That would be cool. I'm looking forward to wormhole technology. I've not heard of anybody talking about that, so I don't mean to suggest that it's on the way. But teleportation is not a thing. Not for objects on the scale of the, you know, macro three-dimensional universe that we attune our consciousness to. Typically. Most humans in modern cultures are tuned to the three-dimensional universe of molecular matter. Forget how I got on that topic. Oh yeah, teleportation. Yeah, teleportation exists on the level of information. There appears to be some kind of quantum packet teleportation thing that exists in nature. That's a real phenomenon. But not for matter. Not like this microphone. You have to destroy the microphone and then recreate it on the other side. So if they were to teleport you, you'd have to die. You have to be killed every time you're teleported. So I'm not interested in teleportation technology. But wormholes? Now we're talking. Something that I can step through that connects with another point elsewhere in the three-dimensional physical universe of molecular matter to which we attune our awareness. Yeah, so that would be cool if there was wormhole technology and we can have some kind of jam session. The UK crew does that. If you look at the Hardware Jams page, they have some in-studio sessions, which are awesome. They're really cool. They have like 5 or 6 people show up and they just, I guess, MIDI sync their stuff. Question mark? I'm not sure how they do it, but it's really dope. So I agree, Wabbit. In-person jamming would be awesome. Or some kind of show. Here's what we should do. We should all we should put on a show. We should put on a tour. Find a path that's like reasonably within the limits of approximately the average of the path between all of us. And just organize a tour. Take like 2 weeks, play, 10 shows or something in a bunch of different states in the United States. We each play, a half hour or an hour, or we do like jams together during the live show or something. Now that'd be pretty cool. I'm getting caught up on some of the chats. So I think, going back to this set of instruments here, sounds pretty good. I think we're at volume levels as the only concern, which is not a concern for the palette, that's a concern for the performance. I'm looking forward to the panning, because I think there's a lot I can do with the panning here. So I'm going to move on to that now. I think the instruments themselves are sounding pretty good. Let's do some drum panning. All right, as always, the kick. I like to keep the kick pretty close to center. I put it to just 1 over. The snare clap thing. Only a couple over to 3. I think that's fine. I like to keep that one close to center too. All right, now the hi-hat and the exhale. The hi-hat I'm going to take out left pretty far. Yeah, there you go. If you're listening on headphones, you can hear I just really threw that out there. I put it to 22 right now. The breath I want to take out as well, really draw it. It's at 17 right now. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to take the snare and clap out a little bit. I'm going to turn it to left to 5 to the left. All right, so I'm pretty happy with the drums already. There's a nice space in there. All right, so now I'm going to turn to the panning in the upper looper. Bass, I always keep center, so I'm going to turn on the others. Let's see, 15, yeah, the standard, that's what I started with always. That's my existing template. I start with 15 and I think 40 for the outer ones. So let's turn these around. Let's see, 15 to the left, 15 to the right. How about like, I don't know. I kind of want to move the left one in a little to 11 or 12. Let's really get something lopsided. I think the space in the drums allows me to like really stretch out the panning in weird ways. So I'm gonna make the left one 11 to the left, which is 22%. You just double it. Oh, 21. 11 and 21. Let's listen to the difference. Yeah, this is not a huge difference. But it is enough if you're listening for it. I like to play with a lot of subtle things like that. And for my people who like all my raps, that's a big part of how I write. I write a lot of subtle stuff that probably nobody ever catches. It's just me. A lot of like subtle, you know, here's 7 syllables that I'm playing with, and you probably missed these 2 because you were focused on these other 4 or 5. Here's reversing things that you might not have noticed. So that's how the panning is right now. Hi-hats are really panned a lot. Wow, 44% they're at. I think I'll keep it. I'll keep the hi-hats at 44%. All right, let's bring in this other one. Low pass filter layer. What kind of panning do I want on this? I always start those at 80%. Well, not always. It's not bad as far out as it is. I might bring it in a small amount, because otherwise, or not otherwise, but in the other ways that things are panned to the left. The left is pretty extreme and lopsided in this track. So I'll bring this one a little bit in from 40, but not much. 36 I'll go to. And then I got just that one last layer. Let's see how I want to pan that one. Yeah, that one is ready to be panned out even more. How far? Woo! 45? 90% to the right? That's pretty far. Maybe I'll take it in a small amount, 44%. Or I'm sorry, 88%. 44 on my notches here. I don't think that's too far. Especially considering that this is a pretty loud layer, a pretty loud instrument. Those are, you know, those are generally better ones to pan. Whereas bass, which is more unidirectional or whatever the term is for that. Crazy Wabbit says, what icing do you prefer between your layers? I assume you're talking about that bean dip from earlier. So anyway, this one at 88% pan to the right, I think it works. Yeah, I think this panning is sounding pretty good. I would be open to the argument that this one is panned too much to the right. Let's see, we'll take it down a little bit. Gotta have some pomegranate arrows. So I brought that one in to 56% to the right. I think that's in too much. I'm pushing it back out. I have it at 37, which is what? 74%? Whereas this one on the other side is 72%. I'm gonna bring it out more. I'm going all the way up to 78%. 72, 78. Left side was otherwise a little dilapidated, lopsided, including how I did the drums. So now I have a pretty like broad, but not quite even panning on this. You know what's left at that point. Now I move on to the output effects, because I was feeling pretty good at this point, I think, with the sounds themselves, the instruments. And I did some panning. I'm feeling tentatively okay with the panning. I'm probably going to come back later and be like, oh my god, it's so much, it's so far out, listen how far to the right. Oh my god. And the next time that I do this one on a stream, that I'm just messing with these, maybe I'll get there in a couple months. I'll come back to this particular palette and I'll be like, oh, so spread out, so far to the right. What is this? Oh man, it's all the way up to 78% to the right. Oh, what was I thinking? That's probably how it's gonna happen. I don't predict it. That's not necessarily what's gonna happen, but it might. In any case, since I am tentatively feeling good with the inputs, Crazy Rabbit clarifies the icing between layers in terms of the jams. Do you mean like, what do I do to try to hold things together? If so, that's what these are meant to do. These are meant to do that. Also reverb. I like to use reverb for that. which is not too strong on this. I'll be checking that out presently. Speaking of which, that's my point. That's what I'm moving on to. Because I'm okay with the inputs, the panning, the third thing I do with every palette is the output effects. So let's start with the drums. I expect they're going to be pretty good on 2 of them. Got the vinyl flick. There's nothing to configure on that one. The low pass filter. Nice. Yeah, that one's the way I want it. And now we got some reverb. How much reverb? Not a lot. Yeah, not a lot of reverb. That's better. Good. Yeah, I'm glad I checked. So that's all the output effects on the lower looper. Usually those are pretty fast to go through. So now the task is output effects on the top looper. Same thing for the first 2. These don't need any... Yep, those are all good. Those are just the vinyl flick. Nothing to configure there. Low pass filter is just the way I want it. So now, got some reverb. Yes, let's do some reverb. Starting with these. Not that much. Okay, not that much happening there. Because this is meant to be the icing question mark, I'm not sure, Wabbit, if that addresses what you were looking for. I'm leaving some low end in the reverb. Maybe a little more than I normally would in the reverb itself. But I do want it to be a little more powerful. So I'm making it longer and denser. I think that sounds okay for these. Let's try it for the other layers. Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe take it down a little bit in terms of the low end. But yeah, this is pretty good. Then there's the final layer, my friends. Final layer. How does the reverb sound with this one? All sounds pretty good, I think. That was the reverb, but the upper looper has one more, which I usually set to a slicer. I think that's something else I should evolve. I don't know yet what I would want to set it to. As a default, that is. So for now, I'm going to keep the slicer on and just see what we got in terms of how it sounds on these layers. Doesn't change the volume. Ooh, it doesn't. That's good. Moser's heading out. Night, my man. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Sounds not bad, the slicer. Yeah, I see how I program the slicer. I have the ability to program exactly how the slicer operates, like how high each level is that gets sliced. Which is good. I'm just thinking about how I want to cut this one up, because this will be the final thing for today, by the way. Once I conclude this slicer output layer, that concludes this whole E-flat palette that I was thinking about. And I'll probably destroy it all so that I can save the settings, quickly rebuild the beat, make sure I'm good with all that. That'll probably be it for today. So this slicer I think sounds all right, but I'm still looking at the way that I've configured the slicing. It's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Uncommitted. So I'm gonna make it a little sharper. This will be more high contrast. Symptoms of Reality also heading out. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here, my friend. So I just tweaked the slicer a little bit. I think it's clearer now. That goes in the category things that I probably will continue to evolve. The next time I come back around to this palette, I'll probably say, you know, let me tweak that a bit. But for now, I've gone through every layer. I checked the input, panning, output layers. I'm liking how it sounds. As I said, at this time, my friends, I want to save all of this. And in order to save it, I gotta first erase the sounds that are there. I don't want to save the beat. I just want to save the palette that I used to create the beat. So here we go. I'm erasing all those things. And all right, I'm gonna start saving. Let's do it. Nice. Very good. Done. Did it. As promised, my friends, I will now quickly make a beat, make sure I'm still comfortable with this palette. I still like it. And then we'll do a quick conclusion to the stream. Thank you again for being here, my friends. Hour and 20 minutes this one took. It does seem like it takes me like an hour or so to go through one palette, you know, to give it the time it needs. It's about an hour to go through a palette. That surprises me that it's that long, but seems to be the case. In any case, my friend, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Let's do it. I'm going to make another beat real quick. How do I like this palette? Friends, I am indeed happy with the way that this has come out. Palette's coming out good. Still some room to grow with it. I think this one is a little distorty, a little clippy, but overall pretty good. Good use of an hour here. Thank you for being here, my friends. Please grab a drink. We're going to do a celebratory cheers. I'm grabbing my water, my friends. Grab a drink, whatever you're drinking on. All right, I got it right here, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having a good time with all the rest of us here today. On 3, we are going to celebrate your belongingfulness. You belong here. Everything's so much better when you're here. I love doing this with you. Cheers is coming pretty soon, my friends. We got one. That's the first piece as it builds up. And you know the great joy that is coming to you so soon, too. But, the culminative experience, my friends, that's on 3. Clink. Cheers, my friends. Oh, that's so good. Thank you again for being here. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Friends, I hope to see you in the next Reconsider It live stream. My regulars know that we have 2 scheduled, organized streams per week. Wednesdays and Saturdays. You can see the times on the About page of my channel. Wednesdays and Saturdays, we do the Loops and Chill. Which is unlike this stream. This one's different. Loops and Chill is just an hour of one beat after another, moving from one palette to the next pretty quick. That's every Wednesday and Saturday. We've also got streams like this one, which is hanging out for an hour or maybe a little more. Hour and a half today we did it. Just slowly evolving the way my palettes sound, making them sound better. Those are unstructured and unplanned. That's whenever I have an hour and I feel like jumping on a stream. Looks like I usually do it more on the weekends, but sometimes during the week as well. I'm probably going to do another one tomorrow. Tomorrow being Sunday. It's very likely I'll do at least another hour, pull up the next palette. This was an E flat. Next time we're going on to the E that's right above it. And then we'll circle back and just keep going. Friends, thank you for being here today. Please have a very good rest of your day today. Please have a very inspiring rest of your day today. Please experience healing of various sorts today. Please move forward in your personal evolution today. Please get a restful experience through the day and also as you sleep tonight. Please awaken in a greater state tomorrow, my friends, and I will see you in the next Reconsider It live stream.